all time.
And always.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Loki in Review podcast. This week, the Nexus event, episode 4. Before we get into that, we do have some Marvel news to give you guys because there's
We
some
do.
stuff happening right now. Now, of course, there's some rumors of it's just a little bit, not a whole, ton of stuff. I mean, we've gotten the second
There's some good
Shang-Chi
rumors,
trailer.
though.
We've already
Some good
talked
rumors,
about that. We got right now you can't hide from the internet no more. I mean,
You can't.
it's hard.
You can pick your
you
nose,
got,
and the paparazzi's gonna know you're picking your nose.
so we got what we have now is we have Tobey Maguire, the Garf, or Andrew Garfield, as most people call him, and we got Tom Holland, who all have been spotted in New York right now. Of course, we got Black Widow coming out a week from now, and the idea is that there's going to be a Spider-Man Far From Home trailer played before Black Widow.
Hey, Katrina, what's up?
And hey, Katrina, welcome. So, with the 3 Spider-Man actors rumored to be in the movie, all of them in the same location, New York, what do you think's going to go down there, Lucas? Do you think they might have something planned?
Premiere.
Right. So, assumedly they're doing some kind of promotion. So, hopefully that'll be a trailer premiere.
Premiere the trailer.
Which, I kind of fell into the rabbit hole after hearing that. I saw some probably fake off the camera trailer footage that was it still hyped me nonetheless because, it's also rumored that we got Charlie Cox's Daredevil is going to make an appearance, but we all do know that Benedict Cumberbatch is reprising his role as Doc Strange in it.
And why would he be in it if it wasn't for a multiverse of madness?
I don't know, because they're doing magic. Anyway, so
don't talk to me right now. I'm doing hot magic crap.
So with that, we also got a little bit of info on the new Thor: Love and Thunder movie where Karen Gillan, who is famous for her role as Nebula, the android daughter of Thanos, she is going to be making an appearance in Thor: Love and Thunder. That joins her with the already announced Christian Bale, and do you remember his character? He is the villain.
You had to say that. I knew
he is the villain. Well, while Lucas is thinking about that, we also got Russell Crowe confirmed to be Zeus. So we're mixing a little bit of the mythologies together. We got Norse clashing with the Greek, almost like it's the clash of the Titans.
So are we going to get Do you think we're going to get Ares in the Marvel movies then?
No, I think that's who he is. I think that's Christian Bale. I think he's Ares.
Is he?
I think so. I don't know. Anybody in the comments, Jake probably knows. We're just having a bit of a random forget.
Gore the God Butcher.
Gore the God Butcher. But linking it up with a little bit of Loki. So we're continuing the Asgardian story and the Guardians stories all together in one movie.
Did you see the thing where Taika compared this movie to an Avengers movie because it's a huge ensemble cast?
Yeah, but we also got, I mean, it's funny because ever since Civil War, most of these movies have been ensemble level. Even with Black Panther, you got 15 different characters, that are all really relevant. And, maybe Ant-Man would be not as much because those are the kind of the side.
I don't know if Kang is in Quantumanium, then.
But ladies and gentlemen, we will get to Kang later. Because we did have some predictions. We did have some predictions last week and the weeks prior where may or may not have been confirmed, maybe starting to kind of peel the layers back, peel the curtain back. So right off, we stopped last episode with what me and Lucas unanimously called kind of a filler episode where they were in Lamentus 2, I think. Lamentus 1, where they had the apocalypse.
This was.
Huh?
I don't think it matters what Lamentus this is.
Yeah, it's anyway. The internet, they'll correct you. It's Lamentus 1.
It's Lamentus 1 in the year, blah, 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 2077,
2077, if I remember correctly. Um,
Being killed by a gigantic meteorite.
yeah, something like that. And so anyway, that's where we ended up. And we start this episode not there, but with a flashback to the familiar Asgardian skyline. Um, so we're starting off. We're thinking we're gonna get some Loki backstory. Just kidding. It's actually Sylvie, and she's a little girl. Didn't know
Mm-hmm.
this, but she was actually taken when she was a little girl as a variant
Yep.
by the TVA. Now,
By which TVA member, though?
Renslayer,
Exactly.
Ramona Renslayer, whose name was mentioned this time and kind of got me all confused because I was like, Ramona? Her name was
Ravona.
Renslayer.
No, Ravona.
Ravona. I was like, Ravona, is that her name? And no, it's Ravona Renslayer. So that is her name.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody was out there struggling with that like I was. All right, so we get a little bit of that backstory. We get her taken, and of course, because she's a Loki variant, you know, behind the castle. Yeah, for the first time. Yeah, we got some above the castle with Ragnarok when
Mm-hmm.
Surtur was there. Being all Attack of the Titans and melty. But we never got this angle, and it was just cool.
I just thought of the colossal titan from
Yeah.
Attack on Titans punching Surtur's knee. You're not big.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is nonsense. Okay, so we go from a little bit of backstory. We got her playing with some toys, and then they're like, "Just kidding, no toys for you. You are our prisoner now." And so she's this little girl in over her head, confused, being taken away from everything she knows. And because she's a Loki, she pretty much gets away pretty quick, which is like, pretty capable little girl.
I feel like this is like standard for like variants because I little skip ahead because I just want to pinpoint on what you said and actually just hit me at the same time. Is a little
Okay.
bit later in the episode, Ravona talks about like it's just another one of these stupid variants or says something there along the lines of that. So
Again,
I feel like they've dealt with a lot of these Loki variants, and I think they've done pretty much the same thing over and over again.
hmm
It's just funny that you mentioned that because I was like, okay, that I kind of had an idea of that in my head, but now that you said it, I'm glad someone else thought it too.
all right, and then of course we get our first or real tease of the timekeepers where Renslayer is like, "Oh crap! I let the variant go. Let me go report to my bosses." So we get this terrifying silhouette of these glowy eyes, alien,
Oh,
mysterious
it's
figures
spoopy.
sitting in the chairs, and I
They're
was
big
like,
spoopy.
"Ooh, we're gonna get some info." So from
Instantly,
there,
the first 10 minutes is better. First, like the what, like 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes was better than the whole last episode.
well, no, and that's the thing too. Touching on that, it's like first off, this episode is good, and we haven't gotten through the recap yet, but this is a good, solid episode. Whereas the last one, it's like I wonder if this one wouldn't be as good without having a, kind of a valley, not a
A
peak
palate
last.
cleanser,
Yeah,
like a palate
yeah.
cleanser, like ginger
So,
for
so
sushi.
if they had just kept going, would the pacing be there? I don't know. Well, we'll see. We're gonna get through this recap. So we got the logo happens and we get to present time. Renslayer and Mobius are having a conversation about, um, you know, their screw ups collective, whose fault it is, where they're at, what they could be doing, blah, blah, blah. Um, you're starting to see the Mobius gears turn, maybe sowing the seeds of doubt. Not that great yet, but
Mm-hmm.
we do see a little bit, and I don't think it's something that hasn't been hinted on before. But we're still in this area where Renslayer's kind of like, don't trust this girl, don't trust this lady. This is
Oh,
something wrong. Something's up here.
I didn't like her
That's
from
what
the
I'm saying.
bat.
We're
You
just
know?
getting more. We're getting more reasons not to,
Yeah.
and we go from there. Let's see. Trying to find. We do get the conversation that deals with the agent that was enchanted and died, and of
Mm-hmm.
course, instead of our, classic "wow," we get another variant on how "wow" with Mobius saying "how." She's like, he's dead. He's like, what? How? And I was like, hey, he said the thing. Moving on. So we get a little bit of mystery being started there with like, well, how did this agent die? That's weird. We go back to Lamentus 6000,
in
Um,
BC.
and we got Sylvie and Loki kind of having this almost out of nowhere, but like when you start to think about it, makes sense. This little romance kind of cementing where they're both talking about who they are as people, what kind of failures they have, and Loki's just like, "No, man, not fam. You're like the coolest thing ever." And like they hold hands, and they're like, "We're gonna die." And
But big whoopsie, the
yeah,
Nexus
so
event happened on
right.
an apocalypse.
And touching from that, we get this. They're monitoring the timeline, the sacred timeline, and of course, since they're in the apocalypse, with there just being an apocalypse, no change is going to happen on the sacred timeline. But this romance causes a vertical spike, which is the first time we've seen a vertical spike
It was just
from
like chaos, 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 chaos,
yeah,
chaos.
which is also so it kind of reminds you of like, are we ever going to get to see the consequences of the time bombs that were released? Because it's been 2 episodes and nobody seems to really care. So they've either dealt with it off screen or it's coming back later. But it's almost like it doesn't have any real consequences, which is kind of strange. Kind of disappointing, but
I think in the long run, so real quick, I think the purpose of the time bombs were was for her just to get inside of the timekeepers. Have the TVA so distracted with so many like Nexus events happening
yeah,
at one
yeah.
time.
Well, narratively, that makes sense, but it's disappointing to have an episode end that way to where we think we have these massive stakes and consequences that we're going to see and we just don't. But I do have a theory that I'll mention when we get to the end of the recap
Yeah,
of where I think that went, what's kind of happening with that. Um,
Jake's saying they
so
hinted that it happened off screen.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but I'll get to my theories there. Um, so back, after the spike happens, they know where to find them. So Mobius and the team go and you know bamf into the Lamentus to kind of capture Loki and Sylvie at this point, who we basically figured that was going to happen last episode, that they were going to get found. We did not know that they were going to do this romantic story, which I thought was a possibility, but I didn't think Disney was going to go this route because, like me and Jake were talking about, a lot of people on the internet, they're calling this incest, which is silly. Um, but
I
there
don't
it
say
is
this
a
is incest. It's self-cest.
That's exactly, and that's the meme that
Yeah,
it's like self pleasuring, but like the most advanced form, or like Jake says, with extra steps. So it's one of this wavy, yeah. I don't know. I don't want to read too much into that yet because we're still getting through the recap. So
yeah.
we got that. I was very surprised, and at first I was like, really, they're gonna do this happy romance, but then I was like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like I think Jake's trying to be subtle. Um, the uh the romance there is like, I really like we didn't really like Sylvie in the last episode, but knowing her backstory, her life, she has grown up only knowing apocalypses. So everywhere she has been raised, everywhere she's gone, it's just been from one place where everybody's dying to another place where everybody's dying. So I ended up, because I knew what role her character was playing at this point, I was like, okay, I get it. I like her a little bit more. We need more from her. We need to get some more content from her, really make an opinion. But
But
Lucas,
like, I still on that
not
point.
there yet.
Sorry. I mean, I'm not sold yet. I definitely want to see what happens yet. But she's literally just like painted now as like, excuse my French, the sympathetic badass. Like that's all she is. Like she's a great fighter. She has a really really good skill set with the enchantment, and now she has a sympathetic backstory, which makes
Hmm.
you want to try and feel for her. So I didn't know if that's. I would have much rather her just have like just know her being like a bamf the whole time and not being like, oh, I have such a sad story to make me become this like literal walking machine of death.
All right. I
I would
mean,
have heard, yeah,
for me, it wasn't as much as like I like her. It's more of like I understand why Loki likes her. I understand how this romance has come. That would be interesting. This show is already wacky enough that that could certainly be a thing, but it also makes me wonder how risky
What
they
if
want.
she's actually the daughter of Loki and Sylph and Sif in another time? Sorry, predictions, fun theories. We're getting out of recap. Sorry. Continue recap.
That sounds gross, but anyway, so like I said, no time bombs. They're captured. We get, I one of the best lines is like Loki's like, "How come I don't have the same amount of security that Sylvie has? I should have more security because I'm better." And he's still, being Loki, classic Loki, and
Yeah.
they get this bromance going on where Mobius is like, "Well, you betrayed me." He's like, "Well, you betrayed me," and he's like, "Well, you grow up." He's like, "Well, you grow up," and it's just this cute little bromance
And then this,
continuing that we
and
really
then
missed last
yeah,
episode. What? You gonna
it's
say something?
possible Sif did get unalived.
Unalive? Yeah. Well, we'll get to Sif when we get to her appearance because
Which
they
is
they
right,
play
which is
does make
coming
it.
up right now. Because which is coming up. That's
Well,
what I was
we
saying.
get a few more. We get a few more. He puts her in, the time loop. He, of course, Mobius gives Loki one last chance to say something before he throws him in the time loop
And he
prison,
says
and he
something.
says, well, first Mobius says he's a bad friend, which is hurtful. I took that personally. It hurt deep in here. But then Loki just says, TVA's lying. Of course, Mobius is like, no
That's
way.
my boss.
No way. Okay, so throws him into the time loop. We get this cute little Doctor Strange I've come to bargain time loop style where Lady Sif, who we haven't seen since Thor Dark World, is just
No,
here.
Ragnarok.
No,
She
she's not in
dies in
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, doesn't she?
Nope.
Oh, she doesn't.
She's not in
Oh,
Ragnarok, period. We haven't seen
oh,
this
and
woman in like 7 years and anything. I know she was on Agents of Shield for 2 episodes, but I don't care. Um, but like that's it. They completely nerfed her character, and then she comes back as this throwaway joke, um, where she, Loki cut her hair in the past, and she keeps kneeing him in the balls. So we go from that to Mobius is talking with Ren, and he's like, "All right, let me go interrogate Sylvie." She's like, "No, no, no interrogating Sylvie." He's like, "Why not?"
you interrogate
Um,
your variant. You worry
yeah,
about your
and
variant. The
so she
variant that
says,
you cause trouble with.
she's like, "Work your Loki, work your Loki." So and he's like, "I like that, work your Loki. I'm gonna use that. I like wow." Um,
Wow. Family.
so Mobius kind of snoops up on B-15, the thorn in your side hunter who's always zapping everybody left and right thus far. Um, and he's
Sagittarius.
like, "Hey, what you doing in there?" And she's like, "Well, we got Sylvie," and he's like, "Yeah, what'd she
Oh,
say? Anything?" He's like,
what's she
"No."
doing? What's she saying? What's she doing? She doing
Um,
anything cool?
and so that comes to. I think they said something important. Oh, this is where we get a really interesting line that makes me think, and we'll get like predictions wise. We'll probably touch on this real quick right now, where Mobius is like, "We've already done, like, you know, Kree and Titans and vampires. Wow." So when he says
Mobius, the
vampire,
living vampire.
Mobius is Morbius a variant of no.
Morbius, the living
So
vampire.
so I don't think here's what I'm thinking though. Because Morbius is Sony,
Different versions of Thanos.
yeah, but hold on. Before you get there, I do want to clarify. I don't think the vampire reference is to Morbius. You
And
know what I
who's it
think
going to
it's
be
to?
about?
Blade. Because
Oh,
Sony is not involved, and I think I don't ever want to get my hopes up for like a Venom crossover. I do
we're
know,
getting it. We
however,
are getting it. We are getting that. We're getting that. I swear to God, we're getting that. We're going to. Tom Holland is signed on for Sony movies. Like he's still like owned by them, basically.
I think Jake's agreeing with me, not to like pretentiously hold my point up, but it's just I don't want to get my hopes up for seeing
Yeah,
like
I don't either.
Morbius
I
and
understand.
Venom, those versions we've already seen to like go into the
He said
MCU
it
in a
is.
way.
He said
I
it
know, but
is.
like
He said
it's
it
just
is.
from the business side of thing that doesn't necessarily make sense because Disney and Sony are very child, like they sound like a bunch of angry children fighting over dollars in a back room whenever they've done these deals. And
Yeah, they do.
Sony, we were all excited when Disney bought Fox, but it's been like 3 years since that's happened, and we haven't gotten any of the Fox characters, any single one of them
They gotta
show.
work them
I
into
know they're
this.
working
They know
on
the
them.
narrative. They have to work them into the narrative, though. They can't just like be like, "Oh, look, humans have existed this whole time."
They almost did with WandaVision, which was disappointing. They didn't do that.
Almost, but they're still trying to fit it into the bigger narrative.
Okay, Lucas, I know you like Disney, but I get mad at them sometimes for that. Um, Another new agreement. Well, I didn't know that. Do you know the details of it, Jake? Real quick, you want to throw that in there? I mean, if you want to elaborate, otherwise we can move on to the next point.
We can keep moving on the recap light type stuff.
Um,
Oh, there it is. Sony gets. There he goes. Look at Jake on top of everything. Sony gets to utilize Disney Studios and staff, and Disney gets to utilize the Spider-Man IP.
yeah, but they're making a Craven movie, and that's weird. And it's like,
No, it's
are
not.
they
Sorry,
anyway? So,
had to catch myself there
um,
for a second.
which is sad that they've already used Carl Urban as the in Thor Ragnarok. Forget his name in that with the two M16s. I forget his
Oh
name,
man,
but like he would have been perfect Craven. Um, is
Andy
there
Serkis.
who is not in the next Spider-Man movie at this point? So,
The Lizard.
oh, are you talking about the fourth one, Jake, or the one far No Way Home? Which one are you talking about? Anyway, so let's get back to the recap. We got Loki. Is taken away from the prison so they can have this little conversation where Loki's, of course, lying about, oh, I've known her the whole time. We have a plan to tear down the TVA, and you don't even know. Like, we're going to. Okay, so he's in the third Spider Man movie. Interesting. Well, hopefully the trailer will come out next week, if not earlier.
Wow.
So we can see a bit of that. So we get this like Loki BSing about, oh well, me and Sylvie have been friends forever and we've been planning this and you fell right into our trap. Something's big's gonna happen and you're gonna know what it is. And he's like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. No. Um,
Freaking voice you keep doing for Owen Wilson.
it's not.
Or
It's the best I
Mobius.
could do. It's the best I could do. But that's
No,
exactly
you're
how it
good. No,
is.
you're good. No, you're
Um,
good.
he's
It's killing me every time you do it.
so Mobius does a very very clever thing where he lies about having already killed Sylvie, which changes Loki's tune immediately. And Loki's like, "What? She's dead? Huh? 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 She's
Huh?
dead?
Oh, oh, oh.
No, 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 oh no!" And so Mobius is like, "Yeah, you must like her. You like her, don't you? You like her. Oh, you like her." And he's like, "No, you like her. I don't
That
like
whole
her."
scene, man. Once he started
Um,
saying that, I went to look at Carla to see her reaction because she's not liking the show, because she's not big on like the whole time travel multiverse, like whole kit and caboodle. But like, I wanted to see her reaction when it came to corny acting, just going, "You like her," and all this. Just Carla's just her face was just going, she was going, like, "What am I
wow.
watching?"
Sad. I wish we could. I wish you could enjoy this as much as us, but sadly, that's not for everybody. Um, and I think I detect a little bit of jealousy in Mobius's voice, where he's like, "No, my bro's got a girl now. We're not bros anymore." Oh. So, um,
A bro's got a
so
girl. That's a
so he
girl. That's a
draws out the
bro.
truth, and this, again, Mobius, best therapist in the world, just breaks. Oh, Carla must have sensed we were talking about her. She's like,
Hi.
"Hi." Yeah, I wish you're enjoying it, but yeah. So we get that scene, where or we keep getting these scenes where Mobius is like peeling Loki back to the inner child within, and of course at this point Loki's like, "You're all variants. You're all variants.
And
I am
he's like,
Loki of
"Oh."
Asgard, and you're all variants." Um,
I wish he
so
would have said that. Like
I am
Loki,
Loki
like
of Asgard.
Loki. I
I
wish
wish
he
he
would
would
have
have
said
said that.
that. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we make that joke again, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button, which I should have reminded you to do. But please like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Adventures by Abel's in the Bat Loop. If you like these kind of content, you can go to those channels, enjoy those. Moving on. And by the way, we didn't even introduce ourselves. I'm Justin, and this is
Hi,
Lucas, the Disney Grizzly,
hi
and we
guys.
are happy to be here, everybody. So we
oh, honey, listen. We're not there yet. We're
it's
not
not
there yet.
spoilers because we're recapping the whole episode. We didn't even tell y'all it was spoilers, so sorry if you didn't realize that. Spoilers. We,
Unga bunga.
we're really
We are
man.
knee deep in the backwards territory right now.
All right. So anyway, whoops. We'll get them next time, I guess. Anyway, so B-15, the hunter that got enchanted at Rock's cart, is like, I want to talk to Sylvie, and nobody says no to B-15 because she crazy. They're gonna let her in. So they let her in, and
Don't
she,
zap me, bro. Don't tase me, bro.
right, and she'll tase you. She will prune your buttocks. I don't, and I'm trying to keep
Prune
it
your
PG.
cheeks. Prune your cheeks.
She don't clap. She prunes. Anyway. So B-15 takes Sylvie to Roxcart. She's like, "Hey, you lying? We're not variants." And she's like, "Yeah, I can only enchant you with memories." And so she's like, "Show me." And so she shows her this little,
And she's just like,
image of her
and she's
life,
just
and she's
like,
like, "I was happy." And I'm
bunga
like,
bunga, bunga bunga, bunga bunga.
I was like, "Yeah, you do look like someone who has some tragedy to be this kind of heated and aggressive all the time." But anyway,
Jesus
we
Christ, Jake, you did not.
what I didn't read that fully, but I'm just gonna move on. Back away. I'm just gonna back away. Um,
Smile away, boy, smile
so
away.
Mobius starts to be suspicious, like crazy. He's like, "Are we really variants? Like, are we? Wow."
Did
Um,
I really ride a jet ski?
and he has this kind of almost like he's been completely friend zoned by Ravona at this point. So maybe if they were actually romantically involved, he would have some like stronger faith in her. But he's seeing right through this because she's like, "Where would you go? And if you could go anywhere?" And he's like, "I already can go everywhere, and I just want to be here. I like doing the work."
Like
Um,
doing the work, he says, the
yeah,
work.
and I thought he was gonna say jet ski. I want to go on a jet ski.
Oh, if he
Um,
said jet ski, she would have been like, prune right now, boom.
where? Well, anyway, so he's like, "Why can't I interrogate Sylvie?" And she's like, "Hey, you cut that out. We're done with the mission. The timekeepers are happy. I got
Jake
a
is
new
right. Jake is right. As soon
yeah,
as she,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah."
yeah. You're just like, I don't need this.
He's like, "If I'm not gonna pull a Hulk and smash, then I better get out of here, and go."
Loki's before
Um,
Hoskies.
and so we get you know, the suspicion, that we get this. They put Sylvie's knife, I think it is, as a trophy.
Oh,
I don't know.
that girl's got a sword. That
Is
ain't
it
no
a?
knife.
It seemed like
That's
a
a
small
it's a
sword.
one sided Asgardian sword.
All right, they put the weapon gizmo on the trophy thing, and so we get that. This is a long recap because this was a full episode. Yeah, it was definitely agreed, Jake. Definitely. But Loki is by, so you never know. He might leave Sylvie for some Mobius. But yeah.
He is.
Um. So he steals when Renslayer's not looking. He steals her Apple iPhone, whatever thing, like TVA iPhone device thing. I don't know what it does. But
Her
anyway,
Zune,
steals
her
that.
Zune, her Zune, her Zune.
That is a hard pull, and sorry if I just deafened your audience with my extreme laughter. Um, so we get this probably one of the hypest scenes, in my opinion, since On Your Left with Endgame in the Marvel Universe, where Loki is dealing with the time loop still, and he's just kind of reserved to his existence. And who should pop in but Owen Wilson? Oh, he looked up, by the way, he snooped on the Zune device, learning that they killed the other agent because she
Zune pad.
empath.
Zune pad.
Yeah,
Tim Zune.
and he learned that she was like, we're all variants. I have actual memory, so he's like, wow, I'm a variant. So
That's not how he went. That man went in like a bat out of hell. Opened up
so
the door. He's like, "Do you believe we're variants?"
he's like, do you like her? Do you like her? Is she telling the truth? Is this actually a thing? And Loki's like, yes, I'm Loki of Asgard, and yes, I think we're variants. And so,
Tim Pad 11.
um,
Tim Pad XLR.
this is our funniest episode yet, ladies and gentlemen. I think. So we get this, scene where Mobius and Loki finally we get them teaming up against the real bad guy, who is the Timekeepers and Renslayer at this point. Everything's on the table. We're all in. Mobius, of course, best line in the whole series, in my opinion, besides how, tells Loki, you can be whoever you want, even maybe even a good guy, just in case someone else has ever told you different, because he told him different, and he has now realized that nobody should have dominion over time like this, and that Loki should be able to choose his own destiny, and him as well. But he's been touched by Loki, and he wants some, like, some Loki juice, which is
Touched
like a
by a
weird way of
Loki.
saying it. He wants some Loki magic.
Instead of touched by an angel, it's touched by a Loki.
Touched by a Loki. So, damn it, Jake, we're not there yet.
Jay, you always do this.
So, he's trying to knock us off of our sacred recap timeline. Is what he's trying to do. He's trying to create a deck.
He does.
So I'm super hyped. We get the bros. They're bros finally. We're gonna get, and then as soon as they step out,
And then the
it's a
hose.
trap.
It's a trap.
We got Renslayer and a bunch of throwaway thugs with their little taser gaffy prune sticks. And Owen Wilson, Mobius is like trying to play off of it, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a good guy. I say it's an accident. I didn't mean to take your iPad 11. And she's like, no,
you did.
You're not
No,
fooling
you
us.
didn't.
And he's like, and then he again, heartbreaking Game of Thrones style tragedy right here. We get him saying, you know where I'd like to go if I could go anywhere? I'd like to see who I was before I was taken by the TVA. Maybe I had a jet ski, maybe just ride around on my jet, bzz, zap, gone. Owen Wilson, more like Nolan Wilson. He's just gone. And I'm like, no.
Man got booped so fast.
I am shocked. And Jake, we're unlucky that you're not singing because you have a lovely voice, but it would break up the minutia a little bit too much. Yeah, no
Man
one
got
Wilson.
booped so fast. Like,
And
I had a feeling he was gonna get it, but not.
am like,
yeah.
no.
I could just imagine you in your seat at your house with your legs crossed, just going like.
My reaction was
grab onto the chair, like you do when something exciting happens. You're just like, what?
No, I was more like, but the jet ski, the jet ski. We didn't see the jet ski. Oh my god! You gonna make me use my Jar Jar voice, Annie? Anyway,
Miso wants the jet ski.
Miso wants the jet ski. Anyway, so again, we got the music hyping up. We got the tension. We got the stakes. We got the drama. We got the anger. We got the emotions. We go in. We're gonna show you to the Timekeepers, which sounds like a silly James Bond. We're gonna tell you our plan before we destroy you, kind of thing. And they take Loki and Sylvie to the throne room of these awesome, terrifying, creepy, and confusing looking Timekeepers, who I had to turn on the subtitles because when they were talking, I couldn't understand. They're like, "Erja mama bimba, oh, solo." Um,
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I couldn't understand. Like, if let me know in the comments if you could understand what there's, because I was like, what are they saying?
Wookie nipple pinchy.
I had to rewind it and put the subtitles on. So and it wasn't really. It was just like, you don't scare us. It's like, okay, then if they don't scare you, why are they here? And so he's like,
Why?
I think we do scare you. And they're like, ha ha ha.
And they're just like ball of shot Kala, and she was just like knocked her back.
Yeah. And again, right when stuff's about to hit the fan, they're about to get pruned like grandma's prune juice. Guess who pops in? The savior, B-15.
B-15.
Because she don't have a name. Because who cares? Anyway,
Yeah.
she pops in. That is her name. Like, that's all they gave her. And she's like, I'm gonna save the day, bruh, and just starts zapping everybody. Renslayer, of course, gets knocked down by Sylvie, but she doesn't double tap. Big mistake. Then Sylvie throws her sword, which I thought was in the
Yo,
anyway.
before you say that, I just want to straight up say, Sylvie didn't prune those TVA agents. She straight stabbed them.
And
Through
Loki
the
did too.
chest.
Loki did. But no,
I know,
B-15 did. B-15 was, I think, pruning or stabbing.
I'm just saying, they did not prune these TVA agents. They stabbed them. Stabbed them.
That's an important detail. I'm sorry to overlook that. My bad. Moving on.
It is. No, it is, because think about it. They come from...
No, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm true.
Yeah.
Or was I? I don't know. So, anyway.
Jake, B-15 bringing Jaws.
It's like, yeah, they died. So we get that scene, and of course, Sylvie throws her knife, sword, sharp, pointy Swiss Army knife at at one of the timekeepers, whose head comes clean off, and I was like, oh, Disney, oh, decapitate. Turns out they're android, which, not huge, not surprising. We kind of predicted that the timekeepers were not really the thing, which and Loki goes, but I'm Loki of Asgard, and I wonder who created the TVA. And of course, no Owen Wilson there to go, wow, I don't know, because he's already gone.
How? I don't
and then
know.
We get this cute, sappy, cringe almost confession from Loki, where he's like high school Loki gonna confess his love to the cheerleader, and he's just a nerd. And he goes up to Sylvie, and Sylvie's like, what are you doing?
Just a kid,
and he's like,
life is a nightmare.
See, Jake, you're not the only one. So he's like, hey, I love, and then
pruned
right through the chest, we get this like glowy effect, and then no more Loki. Credits. What?
No, not credits. Not credits.
End credits.
We see Sylvie knock Renslayer back down. She's like, you're gonna tell me everything.
You're gonna tell me everything. Spill it, Ren.
Spill the tea.
Slayer.
Spill the tea.
Ravonna.
Tea.
Chef Boyardee. Ravoli. That's what you are, Ravonna. Anyway, she goes into that, like, and I was a little disappointed in her level of anger and shock, because, like, I don't think that she's got the same level of love for Loki that he has for her, because she wasn't like, no. She was just like, no, she didn't. Which means either she knows that they're not really dead, because in the post-credit scene we get a WTF moment of
where
Loki mirrored by the end of the first Avengers, where he gets up and all the Avengers are standing around him. This time it's all a bunch of different Lokis.
One of them, Council of Lokis.
Sure.
No, it's the Council of Lokis.
Right.
Quit talking to your boyfriend. No.
This was really fun today. We get So it's we get what Disney's calling boastful Loki, who looks like Loki but with a hammer like Thor, and we get old Loki, who is Richard freaking Grant from
And
the
classic
best
costume.
character. Yeah, and he's in the original Jack Kirby Loki costume that was created before I was born. That looks really dumb, but he's pulling it off. He's kind of no, he's not. It just still looks
It
dumb.
looks he
And
looks like Vision in the Halloween episode.
right. But like a little bit more layers here. But anyway, that and then we get some
Kid Loki.
thuggish looking kid Loki, which
No,
is
it's
like
just Kid Loki.
no,
There's no
he just
thuggish.
looks like a thug. He's like
I mean, he's holding probably the best Loki variant of all that Carla caught, and I didn't
the
see until
alligator
I saw the
Loki.
internet. Yeah, I didn't see that. Save Gator
Um
Loki for last. We just did.
yeah.
Stop.
So so and again, that's probably gonna be the best Loki. Um I hope it has a voice, and I hope it's voiced by like Michael Cera, because that would be hilarious.
What if it's voiced by Crocodile Dundee?
No, what it's going to be is going to be British. They're all going to be British, because if we know anything about Loki, is that they have British accents.
Yeah.
So
Asgardian accent.
Michael Cera is not. No, I mean the act. Okay, so as I stand corrected, as Guardian. Anyway, so yeah, I mean obviously Michael Cera wouldn't fit that bill, but like just someone goofy, someone wimpy and goofy and like not expected. I don't want it to sound like some Sylvester Stallone, like I'm a gator. I want it to sound like, hey guys, I'm a gator. Hello, hi.
God dang it, Jake. This is the second time you posted this. You need to stop. I understand.
Well,
You're
we told
hyped
him to
for
wait.
Loki.
We told him to wait, so he's
Yeah,
doing the right thing.
I know we posted already.
Um, we only got 2
It's
more
going.
episodes supposedly, so
Yeah.
and then one of them is going to be massively overshadowed by Black Widow. So I'm wondering, um, how much more how far they're going to go into these characters, or if it's just going to be like very quick development. And no need, Jake. That's why you're here. That's why we invited you.
Exactly. As soon
They,
as you said, "Hey, great mind things alike."
so it's really on you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we know.
so that's it. That's for episode 4. This was the best episode. Um, this
Yeah.
this I think this is the best episode period for all the Disney Plus shows, just because it was shocking. It brought out all of the
Yeah.
emotions. It was unpredictable. It was the stakes were there. It had a fantastic cliffhanger. And it confirmed and also negated a lot of things that we wanted, and it also continued the best part of this show, which is the Mobius Loki relationship. And Owen Wilson is just such a charm. The new Loki theme is no 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 no. Okay, enough of that.
Sorry, guys. My
You're
cats are
welcome,
attacking each
Jake.
other.
Don't ask again. Um, awesome theme, awesome music all across the board. But so we're getting to this Tati theme of Friends.
English, do you speak it?
He speaks as Guardian.
We don't have an accent.
So I think part of why this episode worked so well is because of last episode's palate cleanser, kind of bringing the stakes back to zero and not really anything mattering. What I was going to say about the timeline splitting, the bombs. Um, I think that some of the consequences of those bombs might have been, maybe Sylvie sent them to Loki areas, and the
Mhm.
reason we're seeing all of the Lokis at the end is a direct result of her sending the bombs.
Huh.
Maybe those Lokis are part of her plan that she hasn't said. And so
See,
she's
I
like, "We're gonna get all the
don't,
Lokis together." But then again, she also said she's like, "I work alone," so I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's. I know Jake has a very big theory about there being the Council of Kangs, basically being the new Time
Kangs.
Keepers. But it's. I don't think it's the Council of Kangs. I think it's the Council of Lokis that's been running the timeline.
You think they're behind all of it?
I do.
No.
I think I do.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, it looks like they're in New York, in like a New York that has been destroyed.
Yeah, like
So
maybe the Chitauri won.
no, it looked way more. Oh, like if they had succeeded.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Jake is
So do
saying
we
no. I
do
don't
do
know.
we want do we want to
Jake,
do this first, or do we want to do thoughts of the episodes first? Because I think we're bouncing back and forth between these two right now.
Jake just keeps saying no, but then he's like, "It is New York." So I'm like, "What is he saying no to?"
I don't. Are you saying no to Council of Loki theory, or are you saying no to your Council of Kang theory? Because I think it's Council of Loki theory that I am concocting. Just saying.
10 years from now,
But
we're gonna have Kangs versus Kongs.
Kangs versus Dom, Kongs versus Doms. Anyways, so thoughts on the episode. Best episode for me for Loki, honestly, like the series itself.
Stop agreeing with me.
For the series, yes. I don't know exactly if I'd say for the best show because it's really hard to beat. I really liked the reveal episode of like Agatha or WandaVision, like when you find out like where she was at and everything. Like the Modern Family episode for Wanda, I really enjoyed that one. And then all of Winter Soldier itself was just one good episode to me. Like it was just a movie. I didn't see it as a TV show. So I
Okay.
don't. It's hard to. I know it was paced like a TV show, and it was a TV show. But when you could watch that whole, like, you could watch that whole show, and it could feel like a movie essentially. Whereas Loki and Wanda still feel like TV shows. It's like the cut from the like cliffhanger cuts to this, et cetera, et cetera. But I
Yeah,
agree that this is the episode of Loki that's the best for sure.
I feel you there. But it's just like when I think to the episodes that I've seen so far that have given me, the hypest I've been was when, Quicksilver walked in the door at the end of that episode. I was like, "Oh my god, X-Men," and then nothing happened with it. This show to me has done multiple things that were shocking and unexpected, and this episode had the most of that, the most amount of twists, the most amount of turns, the most amount of, the emotions were there. Everything was earned. Um, like the character turn of B-15 to be like on our side, on like Loki's side now. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
like that was because we were like, oh, what a awful person, like what a like aggressive annoyance thorn in your side, and now all of a sudden she's awesome.
yeah, of course.
And so we have all these hype moments. Whereas I'm not to diminish, we're gonna, if we talk about the other awesome Marvel shows, it's just gonna be a matter of like, comparing one chapter to another. But I just think of all the
Yeah.
episodes I've seen since the beginning of the Disney Plus Marvel shows, this one for me had the most shocking, crazy stuff happening
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
I
no,
could
for sure. This
expect.
is the most shocking. This is
Um,
the most shocking. Yes, for sure. I can agree on most shocking. Best
yeah,
episode though, I don't know because I would have to rewatch all the shows personally. Like I granted I know what all happened in the shows, but for me to pick like the best episode out of any show, I'd have to rewatch them. I really would. It's been a long time since we saw WandaVision. Unless you recently rewatched WandaVision. I have not.
no, I just find WandaVision to be very slow paced, and the mystery is way too long for in exchange for the gimmick, which we've already talked about to death. Um, on private previous podcasts. This episode made me the most angry and happiest of anything out of Marvel. It makes the viewers uncomfortable, hopeful, shocked, angry, sad, and hype as fuck. Yes. Oh, excuse me. um, sorry. Now this podcast is now adult only. Um,
It's Floridian slip. Sorry guys.
well, I was just reading out loud,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he even
yeah.
abbreviated it, so my bad. Just I'm a terrible person. I deserve to be alone. I'm always be alone, and I deserve it, like Loki. Just kidding. Um, yeah, and I agree. I think Jake hits the nail on the head. Yes, it does. I mean, he actually texted me like real early in the morning to be like, "I am mad," and I was like, "Why?" It's probably Loki, right? And he's like, "If you haven't seen the episode, don't." So I watched the episode, and I was like, "Oh, I get it." We're not gonna bleep it in post. We don't do
You don't do them around these
that.
parts.
So I mean, eh. But he's saying I think me and Jake are on the same page where we don't think that Loki is the Lokis are in charge of the TVA. But when it
So
comes
you
to
think it
time,
might be the Council of Lokis versus the Council of Kangs then? Like something along the lines of that?
why does it have to be one council versus another council?
Because we're dealing with variants of, you know, general, so it needs to be like
Uh,
different versions of one army versus
like
the
a
different versions of
gymnasium,
another
like
army.
bleachers with just a bunch of Lokis on one side, a bunch of Kangs. Doesn't have to be like that. Just that's what Marvel does too,
That's the
man.
new Space Jam. That's the new
Whenever
Space
one,
Jam movie.
whenever Marvel has a villain, it's like, how do we make a villain? What do the heroes do? Well, Iron Man has a suit of armor. Okay, have him fight a dude with a suit of armor. Okay, what is Captain America? He's a super soldier. All right, have
you
him fight another
think?
super soldier.
Do you think we might actually get a Council of Reeds like before even the Fantastic Four movie?
No way.
No,
No way.
not happening. That
I
would not
I
be a
am
smart move.
even less feeling that Kang is going to be involved. I think they're going to do something else, and it's going to be very surprising. But I think at
Unless
this point,
Ravonna killed the
um,
timekeepers, and she's been like the controller of it the whole time, but she's been like the basically the Silver Surfer for Kang, and he's just been pulling the strings from the background because it is his like lover.
you're describing it like I'm starting to. It's ringing a bell with like the movie Solo, where we had Amelia Clark, and then at the end it was like,
Darth
"Ooh,
Maul.
I'm working for Darth Maul." But in this one, we'll get um a scene of Kang, and he'll just ignite a double bladed lightsaber for no reason, just to be like, "Hey, I have a lightsaber."
I as much as I said, I mean, I know I said Council of Loki's because like I could generate 1,000 theories off the top of my head, but I still think Kang is involved because Ravonna is one of the main is basically the main antagonist of the show. So and Ravonna is the lover of Kang. So
Do
therefore,
you think the timekeepers were actually lanterns?
stop it.
Anyway,
Stop
no,
it.
I actually. Does anybody else think the timekeepers were freaking terrifying? I mean, more so in their silhouettes, but like
They made me
they
think
were
of the
scary.
they made me think of the Guardians of Oa from Green Lantern actually.
That's
Like
what
the
I was
little
saying.
tiny yeah, okay.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, they made
but
me think
these
of
were
the
like
Guardians.
creepy.
Yeah.
Like they were just sitting there in their thrones, like we are the masters of the universe. I have the power. Ho ha. Anyway,
By the
but
power of Grayskull.
the power of time
Time
skull.
Skull.
So yeah, I mean this was just another great episode. Last episode took a bit of a dip,
Yes,
and
yes,
Katrina
Jake.
was
Yes, Jake. Yes, Jake. Yes, Jake. So sorry to cut you off. When I first saw the statues in the trailer for the timekeepers, I didn't think they were timekeepers. I thought we were going to get the Living Tribunal. That's what I thought we were getting, 100%. But the Kree is not involved in this at all. Honestly, they just had the name drop of Kree from Mobius on this episode, and that's it. There's been no Kree involved.
also in the if you go back and watch the first episode in the exposition or expository animation they have explaining the TVA in the background of one of the environments where it shows the animated figures fixing a timeline, you can
Mm-hmm.
see Titan. They're on Titan, and you can see the ships that were on Thanos' homeworld in Infinity War. You can see the ships flying around that look like balls, like cracker, like the game Jacks. They kind of look like,
Yeah.
but you can see them. So they've definitely been around for a while. We've already talked about last week where they're probably in the quantum realm. So like again, there's a lot of elements that could bring Kang forth. I think Loki's completely off the mark when he's saying that there's going to be like there's a council of Lokis versus another council of something. I think that would be very silly and reductive. Um,
It'd be silly, but there is a scene in the trailer where Loki is in like the President Loki outfit, fighting something. So what is he fighting?
Lucas, nothing of what you just said has anything to do with a council of something else.
President Loki versus
Look,
the council.
you are on this council, but we don't grant you the rank.
Master.
We don't grant you the rank. And I'm also wondering if it's going to be I don't know. It's hard to predict because this episode was not the only thing we predicted correctly was the whole timekeepers are not going to be the timekeepers. So we don't have those answers yet. We got some answers. Again with the, I didn't think we were going to see.
I don't know if I said it to you on the podcast or if I talked to you about it, like, just in person when we're hanging out or whatever. But I did say Kid Loki was going to be in this. I don't remember if it was to you or someone else.
Well, I've heard that from a lot of people, but you didn't say that. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So I was definitely like.
I think a lot of people assumed that the variant Loki was going to be Kid Loki and then abandoned that it was Kid Loki when it turned out to be Sylvie. But then guess what? Turned out we were all right. Kid Loki's in it. And of course, we're setting up the Young Avengers with Kid Loki probably going to be a part of that. So
do you think the Loki? Yeah, it makes sense because then we'd be seeing like Mad Max people going around him. Okay, that makes sense.
Lucas, if we get to the next episode, make me a promise. If they don't say the word council, you don't get to call anybody who talks to Loki that's on his side part of the Council of Loki. Okay, you don't get to say that. All right, you are wrong, and you can deal with it.
The Councils of Loki is in the comics, so I mean, if they don't say the Council of Loki's at least once, they're missing on an opportunity.
Is the Council of Kangs in the comics?
Yeah, there's multiple versions of Kangs.
Yes. But is they called a council?
Yes.
No, there.
If I'm not mistaken, then yes.
Yeah, you're pulling stuff out of.
Jake, is there a Council of Kangs? Jake, is there not a Council of Kangs?
Council of Kangs is too alliterative. It needs to. I thought they were going to merge Kid Loki and Lady Loki Sylvie. Okay.
Oh, I didn't look
we
on
don't
IMDb.
care about surprises anymore. Y'all are just like, let's get all the info out now.
I didn't look on IMDb for any of this. I literally was like, wash my hands, make my predictions. Let's go on this raw dogging.
Okay, all right. Well, if Jake confirmed, I'm 2 against 1. I'll go ahead and concede my point. All right, y'all backed him up. All right. I'm just being pretentious here. I don't know who's being more pretentious, but Loki, or like Lucas, that's beautiful. Can you do that one more time?
Flex on him.
One more time.
Flex on him.
One more time.
Do it one more time.
No, like do the.
Do it. Oh, you mean do the. Getting used force. No, that was great saying, man. My bad.
This is a dib. That's a dab. Okay. Council of
X and the Council Pool.
Okay.
That's Professor X. Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I don't have any more predictions at this point. I don't know. I mean, I think that Loki is probably going to say, "I am Loki of Asgard."
God.
I think he's going to say that one more time. I think Mobius is still alive. And if we don't.
Did you put on due today? Wait, what? You checking? ¿Qué? Justin.
I'm dumbfounded. I don't understand. Well, no, the director already said that he's not going to say wow.
So Loki is 100% dropping a wow when he sees Mobius. not Mobius.
Oh, because he was making fun of my dabbing. Yeah. I was making fun of Lucas's flexing by going, "You might as well just dab." Anyway, thanks for making me explain that. No, I don't put on deodorant. I don't shower. I don't bathe. I just roll around in the mud.
I'm gonna be alone forever.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. So anyway, of course I have hygiene. What was I saying?
Yeah,
so if Mobius that we know is not alive, I do believe that they're going to find whoever he's a variant of at least. So that will be interesting. Um, but I do want Mobius to be live. But if he's not, I think what a great I'm less of a comic nerd than you guys, to be honest. I'm just a nerd in general. Um I haven't read a comic in a very long time.
I'm getting ready to read a comic while I go to bed tonight.
Yeah, we don't need to know about your
Mm.
pre-bed activities, Mister.
Sensual.
Ew! Wow, that's so aggressive.
Wow. So, let me tell you.
So confrontational. Oh my god.
Wow.
But yeah, do you think we'll get more Mobius, more Owen Wilson in this?
I think we might get in the last episode, just like a little like tease. If he's not alive, if he's pruned, then I think Loki might go and find the what he's a variant of.
It'd be funny if, like, when they say pruned, Loki is the only one who got teleported somewhere else. It like they'll just show like a room where it's just a bunch of prunes, and it's just the
Well,
people that have been pruned.
who knows? Like, what if he actually didn't get
I mean, it
pruned?
would have been a good shock value death where it was like, hey, we're introduced to this character that we end up rooting for. We want to have his, jet ski closure. We want him to get that closure. Want his desire to be
Jake,
fulfilled.
Loki is dead
Um,
after Infinity War. He is dead. He is dead. Life cut off. Done. End the tape. End the timeline.
this isn't Fast and Furious, okay?
Loki, how are you alive? Anything's possible, family.
Yeah. I am Loki in Asgard, and I don't have a family. But if I did, anything would be possible. I'll just have my brother. Hell, Lokis do not die.
Then explain the end of the sacred timeline tape. Like, I understand what comic books do, but the MCU isn't following comic books to a T. They're taking like what they want from inspiration and like manufacturing it for the masses.
I don't know.
No. They just fall
So they
asleep.
go into the Loki sleep, not the Odin sleep.
Sounds awful. That sounds awful.
I don't know. Jake. I mean, he was telling me there's not a lot of predictions for him to make. I don't feel. I think that's it for this episode. Again, if you want to, next week we should have the next episode up again for review, probably Thursday. Just depends on
Probably
how.
earlier Thursday.
Yeah,
We're
we're
gonna
we're
try and
gonna
gun for earlier Thursday.
because we have Black Widow scheduled.
Yeah. We're definitely trying to keep this in within the Thursday scheduling. But sorry
50%
guys.
trolling. So we have
But
that, and then we'll try and have. Of course, we're going to eventually do Black Widow. Of course, Luke is going to be indisposed for the weekend. Next weekend, so we won't have Black Widow up immediately after, but that'll give everybody,
unfortunately,
time to go to the
yeah, to
theater
see
to see
it.
it because you're not going to be able to watch. I don't think is this going to premiere. I don't
It
think it
is.
is. Okay, so if you have time to shell out the cash for premiere or go see it in the theater, we'll be talking about Black Widow. I'm very excited about it, but my excitement levels are kind of washed out because we've been waiting for 100
I want to
years.
say here the only thing I'm excited for Black Widow is Taskmaster, and I know for a fact Marvel is going to do what they always do, and they're going to blow it on the villain of the movie. So
They didn't do it with Thanos. They didn't do it with
the only reason why Baron Zemo became a good villain is because of Winter Soldier.
Killmonger. They did a good one in Killmonger. I throw a prediction out there for Black Widow. Taskmaster is going to have very few words to say in this movie, and then it's going to be revealed that Taskmaster is not actually Taskmaster or something like that. Something like weird, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of development with Taskmaster. It's just going to be like a throwaway villain.
Taskmaster isn't a mutant in general. He just got a photogenic memory. That's his whole stick. He's just able to copy whatever he sees. Yeah, it looks like that's what Taskmaster does. Like it's the tech that he has. He makes tech that mimics whatever he sees in like either videos or in real life, and then he's able to mimic their movements. He's able to mimic everything by seeing it once. Like if he sees it once, he can do it. That's why you see him doing like the Hawkeye shots. That's why you see him doing like the Captain America throw, et cetera, et cetera.
He's like the opposite of me with my ADHD. Like I'm like zero
All over the
task.
place. Yeah.
I'm like task not master.
Really excited for Taskmaster. He's
I'm
probably
like
one of
different tabs open on the computer at all times. Master. He's a mutate, not a mutant. What? That sounds gross.
What?
Don't touch my Tate. Ugh.
Justin. PG-13.
I don't even. Is that a word? Is that?
Your taint?
No, I said Tate.
Oh God! I thought
Isn't that one of your cat's name?
Yes, it is.
Leave alone Tate, okay? That's Carla. Sorry, Carla. Anyway.
Am I wrong? Is Taskmaster a mutant? He's not
Did
a
I
mutant.
just call your cat? Is that your cat that's named Tate behind you?
No, that is Georgia right there behind me right now, sir.
She's like
Harsh nurture, Porsche primer, elaborate medication. I feel like
I just read that and I'm like, did I just read that correctly?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Can we just appreciate the fact that Jake put all that right there?
Like he committed, man. And I'm like
in straight commitment.
I am confused whether it's not a troll or if that's actually what it's called, because that's what it's called. Impressed. 10 out of 10. Impressed.
Color me impressed, sir.
Oh, mutate, like he was
that makes sense now. I can
he was
understand what you're saying.
Intentionally modified and not naturally gifted.
So Taskmaster would no, I thought he was gifted anyways. Whatever.
Lucas, nobody cares what you say, okay?
The real name of the serum he gave himself. Dang boy. All right.
Well, if for whatever reason other than Jake, y'all are still here, please remember again, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channels, Adventures by Abels and In the Bat Loop for more content. We'll be back next week, probably Thursday. Hope to see y'all there. Excited for the rest of the show and more Marvel content. And golly, if we can do that, react to Spider-Verse or No Way Home trailer next week, my month would be made. I would be a very happy camper.
I just want to do it. I just want to see it. I'm ready. All
right, folks. It was great to have you all. Thanks for being on. And as always, I don't have a catchphrase. It's just bye.
Bye.